Hello, today we're talking about the SUI price chart. What's going on here? And if you noticed, yes, I did get a haircut. Thanks for noticing. But if you're new here, we talk about the crypto and astrology. So we're looking at the SUI price chart today. I did buy some more around here and a little bit more. Wow, it got all the way down to 305. I bought a little bit more at 312. Not bad, just dollar cost averaging, keeping it simple. And we have already broken through these moving averages. If you look at the blue line and this red moving average, the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and the 21 SMA moving average. Now, so definitely showing some weakness, but it's tough to say. It has broken down below this previous support here back in May. But we've also seen things like that before. Let me, I think it was, yeah, right around here. We saw something similar and we still stayed on an uptrend where, we had this low back in October 2024. And we arguably broke just below that a few weeks later, but it was able to recover. Now we have broken a little bit more than that. We've broken through more so arguably than that past time. So there could be more downside to go. It's certainly possible. But my strategy is just to dollar cost average when I think the prices are low, then I will buy more like I'm doing. If we look at the weekly scale, we look at the RSI. Zoom in here. I put a little trend line here. Now we've only hit it twice, so it's arguably not a legit trend line, but if we do head down, we want to be bouncing off around that area. So, we could get momentum to the downside. And if we are able to get a bounce off of there, something like that, that could still be bullish. Even if we only go down a little bit, and that would be even better if we just go down a little bit and we go back up. That would be great. So I'll have to keep you guys updated in the weeks to come on that. And if we look at the stochastic RSI, wow, it didn't even reach 100. So either it still has more upside to go to get to 100, kind of like it did back here in September of last year, where it did drop. It did drop right here, but it was able to come back up. The momentum was able to get back up to totally oversold territory before falling off, but coming back up. So it's tough to say exactly where we're going with the momentum, but it is overall getting into overall overbought territory. If we go to the 2-week scale, we still have a lot more potential upside to go. It's just getting a little down move right there. And, if it is able to get back up here again, that would be good. So that looks pretty good on the 2-week scale. If we go to the monthly, yeah, we're not seeing much there on the monthly yet. Tricky, very tricky to predict. Tricky waters we're in. That's why I just dollar cost average when I think things are oversold. We'll have to see if this is oversold territory or not, but it's definitely hitting close to the areas where I want to buy. So I just nibbled on some. And let's look at the SUI versus Bitcoin. So this is the price of SUI versus the price of Bitcoin, not versus the dollar. So arguably, if people believe that Bitcoin is a better indicator of a store of value than the US dollar, which arguably I agree with that, this is a very important chart to look at in terms of the value of SUI versus Bitcoin, which arguably is an extremely valuable asset. So if we look at this, we take the Fibonacci line from this peak on May 5th down to the low from April 7th. Then we get the 50% level. 50% level is right here at .0003194. We have gotten below that 50% level. So it's actually in weak, it's in a bit of weak territory. The last time we saw something like this was way back. I mean, it's hard to compare to other times. In 2024, we got a rebound, but then we fell below the 50% level, and that was not good. It continued a lot lower. But it's really tough to say because we could also just bounce right out of here. So for anyone who's watching the video and you just want a crystal clear, 100% certain statement that either we're going up or down, you're not going to get that today because we are just in volatile territory. But let's see. Well, actually, let's see on the weekly scale SUI versus Bitcoin if we get any hints here. The RSI is still arguably in an uptrend for the most part. Tricky. And then the stochastic RSI is dropping down. But if we go to the 2-week scale again, we still could have more upside. So, all right, just still a little bit tricky. But let's see if we can get any hints with the astrology, shall we? All right, so what we do on this channel is we look at the astrology. So this is the astrology chart for SUI, which arguably SUI, the Genesis block was May 3rd, 2023 in Palo Alto, California, 9:30 a.m. If you disagree with that, then let me know in the comments below if you have a more accurate date. This is what I have right now. And if we look at the outer planets, the transits that the outer planets are making on the SUI astrology chart, we can see if it gets any hard negative aspects, which can bring basically price goes lower, or very positive aspects, which could lift the price up. Interesting that we just completed this arguably positive transit. Saturn just switched signs into Aries. So Saturn sextiling the SUI Pluto, we're actually getting a dump after that. So sometimes when we get a positive aspect, that was on May 30th, sometimes that can mark a peak and then we get a downswing after that. So we're already getting a downswing. It's not perfect, guys. It doesn't often mark the exact peaks. It's just kind of, it kind of gives us a feel, give or take a few weeks for where we're headed. And really, you know, most cryptos, altcoins follow the macro markets and they follow Bitcoin. So that's why I don't look at altcoin astrology as much, because the most important thing is Bitcoin as well as the macro markets, and the altcoins tend to follow. Now, the interesting thing is that Jupiter is going to switch signs in June into Cancer. And Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, so it could be positive. So Jupiter gets activated in June. And let me show you, let me close this. Let me show you on the chart here. So take a look at Jupiter, this planet right here. You see Jupiter. And we are going to move forward. I could even zoom in just for fun. Let's zoom in. Wow, let's get real close in there. Actually, no, not too close. Let's go back. Okay, that's good right there. And so we look at this planet Jupiter, and it switches into Cancer on June 10th. So that's arguably activates the Jupiter energy when we're switching signs from Gemini into Cancer. And fairly soon, well, actually, I guess all the way out into July. So July 4th, we then, Jupiter is conjunct the SUI ascendant, because the SUI ascendant right here is at 5 degrees Cancer, and you see Jupiter is at 5 degrees as well. And then if you look all the way over here to the right, this is the SUI, the circle on the inside is the SUI chart. So Saturn is also at 5 degrees. So we are getting a nice aspect to Saturn. So Jupiter is, let me double check here. We can also look here. Yeah, Jupiter is trining Saturn, the SUI Saturn there. So, take a look at my previous video to learn about what we could be seeing in the month of June for Bitcoin, which will also impact the altcoin markets. I was calling for a correction in June. We're already getting that correction a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but that's fine. You know, astrology is give or take a few weeks. So we're getting the early dump, it looks like. Worst case, we could definitely dump further in June. In terms of the astrology, there's not much for SUI happening in June. So really, it could go either way. So, but let's see. Yeah, looks like mostly positive aspects. I mean, we're getting a lot of sextiles and trines. Venus, we're getting some positive Venus. Venus is the planet of money and value. Getting some positive aspects with Venus to the SUI chart. Getting some positive aspects with the Sun and Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. So we're getting mostly positive aspects with SUI, but still, if Bitcoin dumps, it could absolutely cause altcoins and SUI to dump more. So I'm definitely staying on my toes for that. Still have 12% cash, so I'll be ready to buy more in June. But the good news, as I was saying with this Jupiter transit, is starting around, July. Starting in around July 4th. For SUI, like I was showing here, we get Jupiter conjunct the SUI ascendant, which can mean a lot of expansion. All right, the ascendant is a very important part of the natal birth chart, and Jupiter brings a lot of expansion. So it could bring an expansion in price, certainly on the cards. Not guaranteed. It could also bring a lot more visibility to SUI, maybe some news about SUI. And then it's getting that positive trine to the SUI Saturn. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion, getting a positive trine to the SUI Saturn, the planet of slow and steady growth, can be very good. That could be very good for July. So that's why overall I'm thinking I'm prepared to buy more in June because we could get an upswing in July. That's just what I'm thinking. Like I said, it's not guaranteed. None of this is financial or investment advice. I'm just saying what I'm doing. You make your own financial decisions. Crypto is high risk. So I think you understand all of that. So that is a majority of what I wanted to mention. Let's see if there's anything else. See if we have any questions in the comments. I'll also zoom back out here. All right. Okay, no comments today. So yeah, that's overall what I'm thinking. I think I explained that pretty clearly. If we look at the monthly, this is SUI versus Bitcoin. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna have a down month for the month of May, heading into June. Slight concern is that, you know, on this monthly candle, we went all the way up to, you know, the 0.702, but now we're getting, you know, we got bought all the way up there, but now at the end of the month, we're getting a lot of selling pressure. So it's not great. But especially if we hold this 50% level at $2.92, that will be good. If we can get a healthy bounce off of there, and that would look something like, let me draw it out here. So we want to get a bounce off of this green level right here. And I'd be planning to buy more around $2.92. If we can get a strong bounce off of there, perhaps next week or the next couple weeks, that would be good. That would be positive. So so I plan to buy more around the 50% level, and maybe even put a stop loss. So I'd be planning to buy more there, and perhaps having somewhat of a stop loss down here if I want to be on the safe side. Well, I'll have to play it by ear. All right, what do you guys think in the comments below? Do you think we're going up? Are we going to get a bounce? Are we getting a bounce right now and we're just going to head up into June and July? Or are we going down? Are we going down in June? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in joining the Crypto Astro Mastermind, there's one more spot. Click the link in the box below. and use the coupon code on the checkout page. You'll get lifetime access to the private Crypto Astro Mastermind, monthly calls with me, and you get a ton of incredible bonuses that you can check out and learn about on the page. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's see. All right. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, everybody. Talk soon.